AJ Perez stopping on in. How
Hi,
are
AJ.
you?
Doing well.
What's going on?
A lot of lawsuits, huh?
A lot of lawsuits.
Yeah.
A lot of lawsuits.
Didn't expect that this week.
No?
No.
No?
I mean, the
You're
Favre
busy?
one, the Favre one, not that shocking. Obviously the Michael Irvin one is.
We'll update people
yeah.
on both because obviously this is breaking news. So
Yeah.
Brett Favre got sued by who?
Got sued. Favre sued Pat McAfee, sued Shannon Sharp, and sued the auditor, Mississippi auditor, Shad White, for defamation.
He sued Pat?
Yes, and Pat just went off. It was funny today. Like he basically opened the show with it. Like, yeah, I don't even have a lawyer. Bring it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I was. The one of Favre's lawyers was a Trump White House lawyer.
Okay.
So and I know they were sending letters out to media personalities and others. But to go that far, and the quotes in the story that I have lawsuits in my story. The quotes in them aren't that. They was going. You have freedom of speech. Brett Favre's a public figure. Defamation's hard to win in that case.
Right.
Even Mississippi, these are filed in Mississippi. They do have anti-slap laws that can basically kill these things off fairly quickly.
Oh.
But I don't know. I haven't dug into how strong it is compared to other states. But yeah, there's.
Did you say anti-slap law?
Yes, anti-slap law.
Can we institute that for the slap league? The
Yeah.
anti-slap law?
Yeah, I've been
I didn't
covering
even know
that.
what it was.
I talked to Dana talked to Dana for 5 minutes before he realized I was the one who wrote it. Yeah, and I was like, it's been 10 years since I've seen Dana. So they're like, oh, you're that AJ. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah.
How'd that go?
He rolled with it.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. Good.
And then
Okay.
what was the second lawsuit you mentioned?
Oh, the second lawsuit, it was Michael Irvin suing Marriott for $100 million because there was an incident with an employee at the Renaissance across the street here on Sunday. We don't know what it really entailed, but
Wait a minute. He sued. It happened here today, this week.
It happened Sunday.
Oh my!
Right across the street.
Filed a lawsuit today?
Yesterday.
Or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Michael Irvin got sent home by the NFL Network yesterday.
Yeah, it was. He got sent home.
I knew that.
Yeah, he got sent home, and also he was supposed to appear today on ESPN. With Stephen A. And he
did not do it.
So he's $100 million lawsuit filed in a Texas court this time. He's seeking a lot of money. Basically, Michael Irvin's actually been accused of a lot of things, and including what happened in Florida.
Right.
And obviously, he didn't. That one, it wasn't charged. Even the DA basically walked away from that case. So I think the accusations were I wouldn't say unfounded, but couldn't be substantiated.
My goodness,
Man.
So you've been a busy guy since you've been here. My goodness gracious. Well, what is your main beat for Front Office Sports? Like, explain people when they go to read your stuff. What are you mainly covering?
I would do a lot of legal stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of any controversy, any kind of Dana White, an example. I kind of started on that story when I learned that he wasn't going to face any consequences. I did not think he was going to get fired. I was being fair, and if Roger Goodell or Rob Manfred did that, even if their wife slapped first, it would be pretty
different.
Very, very different.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a different sport. Endeavor is a public company, but they make a lot of money off UFC, and I've kind of reported how powerful he is when it comes to UFC, and they don't they don't think UFC would be where it's at if in the future if he was sanctioned.
Right. I got to ask real quick. I'm a hat guy. I
Yeah.
got a lot of hats. I like nice hats. You're wearing a Bauer hat.
He's a goalie.
Yeah, I'm a goalie.
You're a goalie.
Yes,
Yeah, he
I'm
plays
one of
in
those
men's
crazy
league.
ones. Yeah.
All right. See, I played hockey all growing up, but I was a forward. My brother was the goalie.
So your brother's crazy?
I totally get it now.
Yeah,
absolutely
totally crazy.
AJ.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You're still playing?
Oh yeah. I got to get.
Can you get up and down still like you used to?
Oh, I need 2 new hips, but once.
Not one, but
Now I got to talk to
two.
Shannon Sharp. He got his done like last year. Now I have another reason to talk to Shannon Sharp. This lawsuit.
Oh, there you go. One more quick question on lawsuits, because the reason why I wanted to talk to you is because I'm going home to cancel DirecTV.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go and get YouTube because YouTube now will have the Sunday ticket. Are we sure YouTube's going to be able to have the games? Because it looks like DirecTV is not going to go quietly.
Oh no, yeah, they got him. It's done. The DirecTV threw up their hands about 18 months ago and said they weren't going to bid. So yeah,
What's the lawsuit? Isn't there a lawsuit against the NFL?
Yeah, there always are. But yeah, YouTube TV, Google owes me $1,500 right now since they double charged me for 2 years of that. So be careful.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. So I'm still offered me $300 back, so I'm still kind of pushing that.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a good service though. I mean, I've had it for 2 or 3 years, and
you like it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But you have to have, it's the streaming. There's always a little lag. I would love to, for especially sports betting wise.
Right.
I mean, when you're in live betting and stuff, if you're a 30-second lag, it's
That's very hard.
It is.
It's
yeah.
death.
And it's like DirecTV is a little bit delayed versus cable, but now we're like way past. It's much more. It's for the whole buffering and everything else.
Right.
It's awful. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like, live betting is not going to go where they want it to go until we fix the infrastructure in the country, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah, and there's technology. Even if I have a gigabit internet, and there's still going to be a delay. It's just there's companies working on it, but it's also for the people who don't have high speed, who don't have access to fiber and such.
Right.
We have a huge country, and a lot of people don't have. Even my hometown, I couldn't even do a live TV interview from my parents' house, and they're 20 minutes from San Jose. I mean, it's like,
wow.
And they have, both the services there, and that's not that's pretty prevalent around the country.
So you wrote a story about the Super Bowl in 2024 coming to Vegas.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think that's going to look like? And we had someone on from the committee yesterday. They don't want to say where things are going to go and how it's going to be, but we've heard rumors that this is not going to be at the convention center. It's going to be either in a casino or in an arena. How different will this look next year?
Yeah, there's so many places to have it. I mean, there's with Las Vegas, there's so many options. I mean, you have the convention center, you have a lot of the properties have other meeting areas that are huge. You could go MGM Grand.
Where he suggested MGM Grand and Mandalay Bay were two of the suggestions.
They're not too far apart. Yeah, so it's gonna be. I mean, and the stadium's not too far away, and it's closer than this one, obviously. I mean, it's like 40 minutes. I went there yesterday for a media thing, and I could see why the Coyotes failed out there.
Yep.
Well, he always says that. That's how far away it is. It's a hike and a half to get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived here when the Coyotes were downtown still.
Should never have moved. They should have figured out. I know the sightlines are awful and he couldn't make it a permanent home. But
the building rocked though.
I know.
It was so much fun, and then they moved out there, and I had already moved away. But I was like, I came down and went to a game, and I saw why.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah, and I was at the first game over ASU over the first
How
game.
is
that
the place?
was awesome. It was.
It's not bad, right?
I don't do much game coverage these days. But I wanted to get there for that as a hockey guy.
Right.
So, and it was great. It's packed. It was ran into Frankie Muniz, who's apparently he's a huge fan. It's great. It's small. I grew up. My first hockey game was at the Cal Palace, first NHL game.
Okay.
That was my first hockey game, period.
Right.
Actually, so that was 12,000 seats. You got 5,000.
Right.
Yeah, it gets loud, and I hope that they figure out the the permanent site out there.
So the Commanders are behind you, so I don't know how loudly you want to talk about this, but you wrote an article about their team being for sale.
Yes.
$6.3 billion, trying to get a $7 billion price tag.
Billion,
yeah.
Do they get it, and does the team get sold this offseason?
I think, yeah. There's a lot of people. There's a report from Fox Business on Wednesday that was going to be done right away. I think it's going to drag out a little bit longer. I think he's going to sell. I shouldn't say I think. People I talk to around the league expect him to sell. There's some people around the league who also, a couple of my sources who are like, he wants that $7 billion number. If he doesn't get it, he's gonna keep it.
Hold on.
Now that would cause a lot of, that would cause.
Have they been told to sell, like straight up by the NFL, like you need to sell?
I don't think that. I think some owners have.
Okay.
I know owners have.
Guys,
but I'm not sure Roger Goodell's like, I don't know, because he, and Dan Snyder is his boss. It takes 24 owners for removal. That's the same threshold to approve any kind of owner, minority or controlling owner too.
Do you think they said to him, either you sell or we go down that road?
That's the whole thing when ESPN wrote that story about him having dirt on the other owners. I don't know if that's how Snyder pushed back on that. He's denied everything ever. I think that I don't know if any owners are actually concerned about if he has his PIs dug up stuff on certain owners. And
didn't Jerry Jones kind of laugh at it and be like, yeah, go ahead, show me,
I know,
whatever you want, go ahead.
It's going to be. So I think the league's basically taking a step back from that. The owners have taken a step back from removal until to see how the sale process goes, and then there's also an outside investigation that's still ongoing.
Does Congress still sniff around and go into the NFL if the Commanders sell?
No. Well, the GOP took over the House, so that House committee is now going after Biden's laptop instead of the Commanders.
Redirection.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
no more NFL investigation.
No. It's pretty much they put out their final findings in December. They weren't explosive. A lot of rehash was already out there.
Right.
But yeah, there's 2 lawsuits in D.C. that the Commanders are hit with, and Goodell and Dan Snyder are defendants in one of them. So there's that. There's one other investigation, a couple of other investigations. One, the Department of Justice, which you guys have when they're in Vegas with the with UFC going on,
right?
And also one state, when Virginia still has their investigation into the team going.
Before I let you go, do you have a pick for Sunday?
Oh man, I say Eagles by 3, but I think if I can see the Eagles going up by 7, 10 points at halftime and holding on. But if Mahomes, if his ankles healed well enough. Yeah, it could be a great finish.
It really could. If the folks want to read your stuff and follow you on socials, where can they go and do so?
BYAJ Perez. That's my Twitter and Instagram. And Front Office Sports, sign up for our newsletter. It's free, twice a day. And we have some big features coming up this weekend.
I read it every time. You guys break big stories. You break big stories.
I try to.
Is that fun? Is it
yeah,
fun?
it can be. Yeah, there's always droughts when you're in this kind of gig where you don't.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not. This week wasn't one of them. I mean, I was like, I didn't expect this to be going. I was supposed to be doing Super Bowl coverage, not doing lawsuits. So
lawsuit. Brett Favre sues Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp.
Unbelievable.
I don't think I had that on my bingo card.
No.
I don't think I had
Didn't
that.
see that one.
AJ, good stuff, man. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
That's AJ Perez from Front Office Sports joining us here on the Bostonian vs. the Book live on Radio Row. Good stuff, man. Appreciate that.